This is Xiao Zhang's mini project number 3, the coin toss and dice roll game. At first, we import the random and the mass, and set the random module. And for A is equal input to player 1. Choose a number which is smaller than 5 from the numbers of head you guess. And B is the player 2, the number the player 2 guess. At first, define the coin toss. Set the head counter and the tail counter both to 0. For I in range 5, the one flip is the random rounded 1 and 2. If the one leaf equals 1, head counter plus 1. If the rounded is equal to 2, the tail counter is plus 1. And we just need the head counter, so we return the head counter only. And define the dice roll. Set the number of the dice equal to 0. For I in range 3, because we throw 3 dice. And X equals random rounded 1 to 6. Because the dice has 6, 1 to 6, we need to count. And the number of dice plus equal to X. And return the number of dice. Because we have 2 players, so I define the 2 dice roll 1, dice roll 2. They are the same thing. We just need another define. Then I define the player. For random choose, also the random rounded 1 or 2. And set to count 1 and count 2 both to 1. Because the first time I flip the coin, that the count is number 1. And for range 4, so the last time I count is number 4. Is 4 times number 4. Okay. If the random choose is equal to 1, we start with player 1. So for I in range 4, the numbers of head equals the coin toss. So yeah, equals to this one, return the head counter. If the number of head does not equal to A is the number that player 1 guess, then count 1 plus equal 1. So we count the numbers of times that the player 1 guess. And if the count 1 is equals to 5, I mean, we just flip 4 times for the coin toss. So the 5th time for the player 1, the count 1 is equal to 0 because he doesn't get any points for this turn. And also for the player 2, if the run choose equal to 2, we start with player 2. And also for I in range 4, number of head 2 also is coin toss. If the number of head 2 does not equal to B, B is the number that player 2 gets. And the count 2 plus equal 1. Also, if count 2 is equal to 5, we set count 2 equals 0. And then return count 1 and count 2. Okay, then define the game. The score of player 1 is 0. Score 2 of the player 2 is also 0. We set it 0. And the number of the dice for player 1 is dice roll 1. Number of dice 2 for player 2 is dice roll 2. Then score 1 is equal to the numbers of the dice 1. We plus that 3 times we throw the dice, plus all the numbers, and the die numbers times the player for the first one, I mean the count 1. And also, the score 2 is the number of dice times the player 1, I mean the count 2. and set two lists. Score 1, the empty list, and the score 2 is the empty list. Well, the score 1 is smaller than 1000. We make the score 1 to become the string, because we need to append it to the list. So here is the thing. Score 1 dot append the string score 1 to append it to the list. And then score 1 is plus equals the numbers of dice 1 times player of 0, count 1. So this is repeated, plus the score. And then for the player, we repeat these things until the score 1 is smaller than 1000. And the same thing for player 2. If the score 2 is smaller than 1000, also set the score 2 to become the string, appended to the score 2 list. And the score 2 is plus equals numbers of dice 2 times the player 1 count 2. And then repeat the player 2. And we also set it. The last 1 is the length of the score 1. The last 2 is the length of the score 2. If the last 1 is smaller than last 2, we write it W is the thing. The player 2 is the winner. And else, the last 1 is bigger than last 2, we set the player 1 is the winner. Because this game is we add the numbers, the score, who is bigger than 1000, who is the loser. So if you have if the length of the score 1, the times you've played this game is smaller. So this shows that you is faster than the player 1 is faster than player 2 to get 1000 points. So the player 1 should be the loser. That's the thing. So if last 1 is smaller than last 2, player 2 is the winner. Because player 2 used more game rounds to get the 1000 point, and else is the player 1 is the winner. Then we just return all the things: score 1, score 2, and the list score 1, score 2, and the last 1, last 2 also return the writing W. And define another thing, the difference. So the difference is the absolute value that game 0 score 1 minus the game 1 score 2. That's the difference that two players play the game. The two players score the difference, and then return the difference. And okay, the last thing defined right. We need to write lots of things to a document. Then text is equal to open the new text document .txt and write. We need to write things in the document. Then text write. The number that player 1 choose is format A. This makes it go to another line. And the number that player 2 choose is format B. The game result is format game number 6. Okay, let me count. 0, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. The last thing W. The result, the player 2 or player 1 is the winner. And then write the total scoring rounds that player 1 play is the game number 4. 0, 1, 2, 3, 4. The last one. The last one is the scoring rounds that player 1 plays. Also the last two, game 5, is a total scoring round that player 2 plays. And then at the end of the game, the difference in game scores is format difference. This is the difference of game scores. Then I don't think this game has a winning strategy. So I write this in. There is no winning strategy for this game. Then close the document. Here's the write. Okay, let me run this thing. Run module. Okay. Here. Player 1. Choose a number which is smaller than 5 for the numbers of head you guess. Let me choose if it's like 3. And player 2 choose if it's like maybe 2. Okay, let me see the document here. Okay, here. The numbers of player 1 choose is 3. The number of player 2 choose is 2. Game result, player 2 is the winner. Then the total scoring round that player 1 play is 51. Total scoring round that player 2 play is 40. Yeah, this shows means the player 2 gets to the player 2 gets to the gets to the 1,000 point faster. Okay, here's the thing, I got something wrong here. So I changed here else to else if the last 1 is bigger than last 2, right? The player 1 is the winner. So this works. Let me run this time. So run. The player 1 chose also the same thing, 3. Player 2, 2. Okay, the text document. Close this one. Open it. Okay, here's the thing. The number that player 1 chooses is 3. The number that player 2 chooses 2. Game result, player 1 is the winner. So the total scoring round the player 1 play is 145. The total scoring round the player 2 play is 49. So player 2 gets to 1,000 points faster than player 1. So the player 1 is the winner. Okay, this time works. And then at the end of the game, the difference in game score is 0. So after the times that scoring round plays, the difference of the game score, I think they got the same scoring after the 45 rounds and the 49 rounds. They got the same score. And also, I don't think there is a winning strategy for this game. And let me run another time to show this code works. Player 1 choose something different for last time. Player 1 choose 2. The player 2 choose 4. Okay. The new document. Player 1 choose 2. Player 2 choose 4. Player 2 is the winner. Yes, player 2 plays the round is bigger. 79 is bigger than 51. Different game score is 34. Okay, this code works. Thank you for listening.